What's going on, guys? Sinister here, back with another Smite video, and we are continuing our build guide series on the next one in the alphabetical order, which is Bakasura. I think one of the more fun guys in the game, just because, especially for casuals, you can literally shred with him. Even in ranked duels, if you want to see some great Baka gameplay, go watch like Sam the Dude on ranked duels. when he's not doing good, he'll just go play him and end the game in 6 minutes. It's ridiculous. First of all, we're gonna go over his abilities. His one is a leap, and I believe it does damage on, or I believe it heals. No, it's Kali. I'm gonna go into the ability because I honestly forget if there's an extra. Yeah, it's a physical protection debuff when landing on someone, which is pretty nice. Lasts for 3 seconds. Also does damage. His 2 is a unique one where he eats a minion that heals him for a base and a percentage of his power. Also gives him protections, and it gives him. No, that's it. He can eat up to 6 minions, which will later go into his ultimate. His 3 is a buff that gives him true damage. This thing hits hard. 70 true damage at match rank, goes through protections, and it gives you a physical power buff as well. So, pretty insane. His ultimate is unique. He spits up the minions that he's eaten from his 8 minion, making everybody in the little area, they cannot use abilities. They're silenced, they can't get away. Also slows them. And your autos are now cone attacks, and you are CC immune, and minions do a little bit of damage. So we'll go over the abilities. First one, the jump. See if I were to land on someone to do damage. Eat minion, the second ability. You can eat any small buff camp. The harpies, regular minion, big minions. The only thing that you cannot eat, of course you can't eat the fire giant or the gold fury, but you cannot eat the big buff minion itself until it's at a threshold, and I think it's like 30% health or something like that, but that's what it's going to look like. And you see the little passive in the bottom left, gradually goes up. The little gold circle is filled in, meaning I've had 1 minion. You see the timer blow going down. That correlates with his passive, which is really nice as well. His movement speed and attack speed are increased by any enemy that he kills. So it gets up to, I believe, 3 stacks. So you can get 30% additional attack speed and 30% additional movement speed. 10% just by eating a minion. So that's really nice. His ultimate we'll show you right here. It's not going to look phenomenal because there is only... there's only 1 minion that I've eaten. But it's going to look like this. You can throw it out anywhere. Once you throw it, they're going to be, you know, you get your cone attacks for your basics. That's basically what it's going to look like. It's a surefire kill, practically, especially in ranked duel. We're going to get into the build now. Because we are jungling, of course, we're going to start with the basic, and that will be Bumba's Mask. You're going to start with Bumba's, and one thing I forgot to mention in previous builds is to start with tier 1 boots. So, like, when your first is you're going to get your power pots and mana pots. You don't need as much health with him because he does have a heal. So you get generally 2 health and 3 mana is what I would do. But I forgot to mention as well that you're going to want to grab tier 1 boots, like right off the start. So this is what your start is going to look like. Bumba's, tier 1 boots, and some mana pots and health pots. So I never mentioned that, but you know, I just kind of thought that was common sense. But because we're going in depth for our beginners, this is what it's going to look like. So yeah, and your first relic... Actually, we'll get into relics later. We'll continue with the trend. So yeah, Bumba's Mask, and you're going to want to get some pots as well. Next item, kind of up to you. Of course, it's going to be boots, obviously, but it depends. Some people like to get Ninja Tab because it gives you that attack speed, but with Baka's passive going hand in hand, you don't really need it. And because his Butcher Blades hit so hard, getting Warrior Tab on it is great for that 40 power. It's insane. Actually, there's one thing I forgot. I should go to the abilities first. The first ability you're going to want to get is your 2. That's your Eat Minion. So, you know, you're over here, say this is the mana camp. You're going to want to save the Eat Minion. It doesn't matter. You can eat the minion right off the bat, and then go ahead and start attacking the big buff with your Soul Laner. But usually what I'll do is we'll kill the mini ones, that way you get your attack speed up. And then, you know, you can get him down real low, and then once you're in the threshold, just go ahead and eat him. It's kind of like a Wrath. Baka has basically a free Wrath in there. Kind of, not really, but so that's the first ability you're going to want to grab. Second one is your 3, which is your Butcher Blades. And then you want to again, it's up to you. I would get Butcher Blades twice, but if you're in a sticky situation, getting your leap would be helpful. So 2, 3, 1, and then from there your priorities are your 3, your ultimate, then your eat minion, and then your 1. This is a basic, this is all situational. Your 3 is going to be your top priority because it shreds beyond belief. Your 4, I don't think does a whole lot in terms of upgrading it. All it does is increase the slow. So you're not going to really want to upgrade your ult whenever possible. Your 3 is first priority, and then your eat minion, and then your ult, and then your 1. So first ability you grab is your 2, then your 3, then your 1. But priorities from there, after you get those, are 3, 2, 4, 1. Butcher Blades is insane. That true damage is ridiculous. But we'll go back into the items now. After you get your boots online, what you're going to want to grab, again, this is up to you. I like to get this because of the attack speed. It gives you penetration. Any attack speed assassin I use, I like to get each of all on. This is really good for duels. Rank duel, each of all, and then on Baka is just, it's crazy. And then Death's Toll. Death's Toll and each of all on Baka is really nice. But you're going to want to grab each of all. You're going to sell this later, of course, like most times. But it gives you that attack speed, gives you penetration, and it gives you physical power. And it takes away their physical power. It's just, it's a phenomenal item, all for 1,700 gold. After each of all, you're going to want to stay in the attack speed and get Kinsice. If you need to, you can get Fatalis first. It will give you some movement speed. But Kinsice is really nice. Kinsice and Butcher Blades together shreds. So Kinsice, and then you can go ahead and get Fatalis. After that, this will allow you, of course, just to keep up with them. And when you have your cone effect after your ult, Fatalis is just shreds them. It's ridiculous. From here, you're going to... This is going to vary. You could run into a Wingblade. Say they have a lot of slows on their team. And you need to be a little tanky. A Wingblade will be really good. It'll still give you attack speed, give you that extra movement speed, give you some crowd control. You could also go into something like an Executioner. But when you're doing this, you're going to be overcapping attack speed. Because of his passive getting up to 30% extra, you don't want a lot... I'm not idle, I hate this. You don't want a lot of attack speed with him. So from here, one thing you could get, like I said, a Wingblade, or you could go into some defense. Where are we at here? Sorry, I'm not used to at all PC. You can go ahead and get defense with something like a mantle if you have a lot of gold, or the most common one being Spirit Robe. But with Bakasura, I usually don't build defense. I like to make him glass cannon type because how fast you can absolutely shred people. But getting a Spirit Robe would be handy if you're playing in a ranked match or something like that. If not, another item you can get is just Stone Cutting. Stone Cutting with him. Actually, now that I think about it, I might grab Stone Cutting before Fatalis. But again, that all depends on situations. If I need more movement speed, I can get that. But you're going to definitely get Stone Cutting Sword. I forgot about that item. I don't know why. And then from here, you can go ahead and sell your Bumba's Mask. Go ahead and grab Titan's Bane. After that, give you that extra penetration, physical power. It's really good. With his attack speed and the towers on Titan's Bane, it's just crazy. And you'll be able to shred tanks as well. Between Titan's Bane, your Butcher Blades, and Kinsice, it's a little ridiculous.
Yes, that will do.
And then from here, you can keep each of all if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. Go ahead and sell each of all, and this is where you can kind of put this as a filler of what you want. If you are like 20-2 and your team is just farming kills, go ahead and get like a Deathbringer or something like that, just to have fun. If it's a really competitive match and you're trading kills and it's close, grab some defense. Go ahead and grab a Spirit Robe. It'll be really handy. Or if you don't need defense per se, but you needed just a little more survivability, what you can get again is something like a Witchblade if they have a hunter in the solo lane or something like that. But Wingblade is one of the Wingblade, one of the better items in the game right now. I think only 1850, gives you a bunch of health, gives you crowd control, gives you movement speed, gives you attack speed, and that passive is insane. So getting that late game, it's all gonna depend. Like I said, a Wingblade if you need to, you can get crit if you're snowballing. The last item's really gonna depend, but a general build will look something like this on Baka. Heartseeker you could also run on Bakasura, wherever that is. It's all gonna vary. With attack speed, assassins, and stuff like this, items vary a lot. You could also, like I said, if they have like a Changa or a Terra, you can go ahead and grab something like a Brawler's Beat Stick. It'll give you the penetration on top of Titan's Bane, wherever that's at, Titan's Bane, physical power, and the healing reduction. So that's also a really good item. But overall, he's an attack speed assassin, so you're going to build that up. Sun Pen, of course, and just as basic, you can see how hard he hits with the Kinsize proc. You pop your 3, and I mean, it's just not even fair. I'll show you once the cooldown comes down, on the raw bot. Again, this is a raw bot, but just his 3 active, what the basics can do. This is not including your ultimate at all. I mean, he shreds. It's as simple as that. And that's without his passive up, without the ults, without any of that. That's just basic attacks and his 3 procced. So Bakasura, really good. In terms of casual, if you're doing arena or something like that, it comes to ranked or the SPL, you're not going to see Bakasura. He's just too easy to single out. He doesn't have any real team fight unless you miraculously group up a bunch of them and pop your ults on there. But aside from that, unless he has his ult up, he can't really. Now, in terms of like ranked duels, Bak is a pain in the ass, and he's really good. But this again is for Conquest. Now, Relics. I always like to get Wrath on Bakasura because he basically has a built-in Wrath with his Eat minion. I think Wrath is really good. You're always going to get to lane first. You can eat the first big minion and Wrath the second one, and you're in lane. And then you can go ahead and eat the Harpies, all of that. And then, of course, Beads is always really good. A Sprint if you need it. Sanctuary, it will depending on situation. But Wrath and Beads are going to be 2 that I will get. One thing you want to make sure you're doing with Baka is be the menace that he is. Invade their jungles. You have Wrath. Well, go watch Incon's videos. If he runs Baka support for casuals, he'll run Wrath on Baka, invade their damage, Wrath it, and then just leave. Invade their camps when they spawning up and Wrath them, eat them. If you see them going over to right Harpies, jump over the wall, eat the minion, and run away. Be a menace with Bakasura. That's how you're going to get ahead. That's how you're going to snowball. That's how you can get your build online. That is going to wrap up the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more of this series. The playlist will be in the description, probably at the end annotation as well. If you want to watch the other builds, social media links are in the description, including Twitch, which you should definitely follow me on. And until next time, guys, thank you for the support, and I'll see you again soon.